Hey, welcome to the Scandal Panel. I'm here with my special guest, Malcolm, Sunny.
Hello.
Alright, we're so excited to catch No Way Home. This is our first time and we will be reviewing our spoiler discussion after this movie, so stay tuned. See you later.
See ya.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Scandal Panel. I'm here with our very honored guest, Malcolm Sunny, and we have just got back from our reviewing No Way Home. Hey Malcolm, how you doing?
Hey, hello. Today I am Spider Sunny.
You can see that both of us are wearing our favorite Spider-Man, t-shirts, and obviously, we can say that how much we definitely love this show so much. And so tell me, Malcolm, so what do you think of the movie when you came out of the theater?
I think definitely it does Spider-Man a lot of justice. I think recent movies, MCU has been under a lot of criticism and stress with Black Widow and Eternals. There's a bit of mix in terms of the reviews. Spider-Man is definitely like putting the whole thing back again on Marvel and say like, hey Marvel, you guys know how to do a movie, and this is a movie where people will have very mixed review. I think if you're looking for a holiday movie, this is the only one that you should watch this season.
Yes, and definitely, and all I can say is that, this movie is definitely one of the very rare ones that I don't mind to rewatch it again. And I will definitely be rewatching again soon with my colleagues. So we're organizing a cohesion outing as a department. So I'm looking forward to that very soon. So that being said, right, I actually checked the tomato ratings recently, and definitely it's amazing. You can see that the tomato ratings is 95% and the audience rating is 99%. I was like, goodness, that
wow! And box office, I remember I saw the box office that this is a new record as well for the opening weekend as well. Yeah, wow.
Amazed, right? Because it's like they were also anticipating, saying that this would definitely break the $350 million mark on the weekend on global, not just only domestic. So considering the fact that when we actually booked the tickets, right, it's like it's almost everywhere was showing Spider-Man.
Yeah. And it's the first time that I really did like a pre-sales, that kind of ticket, like 1 week ago I had to like look at Golden Village, when they're going to release the ticket and so on, yeah.
Believe it or not, even despite it's like during the pandemic, right, and during a restricted seat, when we were inside the theater, could you see that actually the theater was actually really packed? Despite, we have safe distancing and they were blocking seats, it was actually really packed. We have even had people sitting...
Yeah, all the way, even the first few rows, I have not seen a theater so packed before for a long time. All the way to even the first 1 or 2 rows that's nearest to the screen, that was also packed as well on a Friday night. There was last night, which is the release night, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I think good call, man, Malcolm. You actually really booked the tickets way in advance.
And I really love the vibe. I really love the vibe in the entire row. Everyone was clapping. There were like special characters along the way. And speaking of special characters, AJ, I heard you share. Who can they look out for without spoiling too much of the movie?
All right, before you get into the spoilery parts, I'm just going to let you guys know that we're going to talk about something very general. We're just going to talk about non-spoilery bits first. This will give you ample time for you to prepare yourself. And if you have not watched the show, please click away. And if not, we will continue to give you the spoiler warning alert. All right. So in that case, for those of you who have been watching it, welcome. We'd love to have you in the show. Also, I'm going to make it a big announcement after this review. So at the meantime, it's like, let's carry on. Definitely one of the first few opening scenes, right? Okay, we will definitely get a cameo version of Matt.
Daredevil.
So very
damn cute. Oh my god.
So what were your reaction when you saw Charlie Cox?
It wasn't just my reaction, but the reaction of the audience. Everyone was like, oh my god, like clapping. There was like that scene when suddenly they review. I think we were all expected, right? Because the role of Daredevil in the comics has always been that he is like the advocate or the lawyer for all the superheroes that got into trouble, right? So we're kind of expecting that he will appear, right? Or is it him or She-Hulk? She-Hulk is also another lawyer, right? But She-Hulk's arch, we know, and also because of the fact that Daredevil is in Hell's Kitchen, which is also New York, so we know that it's a few blocks down. And we've been talking about this, so it was really cool. And to see him just a short cameo was really something that was really exciting. Yeah.
And also, definitely, I think that it's also pretty strategic of Kevin Feige to actually really announce it on Twitter. That Charlie Cox will definitely confirm to be the MCU just in time when Hawkeye episode 5 was released recently, and of course, it literally blew the internet. Obviously, the review of Wilson Fisk, who is none other than Kingpin.
So maybe let's do a quick recap of what happened in the last Spider-Man to remind people what happened. So last Spider-Man Far From Home, they went to Europe, and then they made Mysterio, who's supposed to be like a
Hero.
my cat. Supposed to be like a multi-dimensional superhero, and then after that, then he turned the story around. He's actually the villain, and then reveal Spider-Man's identity. So we kind of leave it with that, and then J. Jamin Jonathan revealed that Spider-Man was Peter Parker. And that was what happened. So, of course, there was this detrimental effect. Imagine going back to school, everybody knowing there were positive tests. There were two camps. One camp was like protesting, and another camp wasn't. It's kind of like pride parade, like sometimes you have like your pride parade, you have your supporter, and on the other corner you also have your protesters as well, right? So, just being so it can be quite stressful, especially for a teenager going through that. And of course, good thing is that he has the support of two very good friends, Ned and Jay, which supported them, and they were also going through a transition from college to university. So Spider-Man's it has always been a very interesting character, interesting movie. There's always the personal struggle that he's going through. In this case, it's the university admission, right, which we all know is a very big thing. And there's also the superhero thing that he has to go through, right, which is like his identity being revealed and so on. Yeah.
I think this is also a very common topic that a lot of young people are facing nowadays, like, acceptance, especially growing into adolescence age, right? It's a lot of finding acceptance, finding a belonging together, and then finding your place in society and try to get established. Also, at the same time, struggle with your academic subjects and stuff like that. So I can understand the struggles of a teenager. It's not easy. I'm sure you and I, we've been through that stage. It's very heartwarming. Of course, we see like different group of characters, like, supporting them, some not supporting them, and so on and so forth. So on top of that, so we still have like Aunt May and Happy, literally, and
yeah. And something happened to both of them. Okay, so let's leave it as it is for the non-spoiler part. Something happened to both of them, which was I leave it as that is. I want to talk about another so-called adult character or fatherly character, Doctor Strange, which is my background. Okay. So, as we all know, Spider-Man needed extra help, okay, and he went to find Doctor Strange, and something happened, right? So I feel like this is the case where like adults will eventually tell you, yeah, I told you so, or why you never listen to me, right? And then after that, Spider-Man has to learn his lesson, and then has to like Scooby-Doo the shit out of the whole thing, right? Yeah, and why don't you talk about the villains? Who are we expecting, or who we have seen on the trailer so far?
I think the trailers we have already seen, very obviously Doc Ock, okay? Octavius is there, and obviously we saw a little bit of Green Goblin, and obviously it's no by chance that we actually really caught the other three, which is Sandman, Electro, and also the Lizard.
So the big question is, who is Sandman, Electro, and Lizard fighting, right? But I must say, one of the characters did level up quite a lot. Not a lot, one of the characters did level up, So a lot of people say that, it could be that, or the other two Spider-Man, but hey, don't forget that we still have Wong. Okay, Wong may be a fighter as well. And who knows, maybe one of Spider-Man's friend may have leveled up and gained some special power. And he might be the third character that's fighting the two other villains, right? So it could be a 3-on-3 fight, even without the other two Spider-Man from the other universes. So don't put your head so high that there might be others, just in case, with what MJ always say, no what? If you don't expect, you don't get disappointment. Okay, so try not to do so, kids. Okay, but I must say it's a movie. If you watch it, you will definitely enjoy the entire story.
Yeah, definitely. And so it's also to pick up left off where the villains and suddenly just appear from nowhere based on the scene, the trailers, right? So basically, I can say out of your villains, right, which one is your particular favorite one? Like, I mean, in terms of the story up.
In terms of powers, who I like Electro. But then cool lah. You never run out of battery life like zen, and then there's charged battery for you, right? It's quite powerful. So I like Electro in terms of powers.
Yeah. True.
How about you then? Who are you voting for? Who are you voting for in terms of the villains?
I feel that, to me, I'm just always impressed with Doc Ock. Yeah, You know, so there's a reason why Alfred Molina was there, like placed as the center arc of the whole entire trailer. So why is it so? I do not know, but we will show.
Wait, probably, you know, sometimes they always show like some character, then they only appear for like 5 seconds, that kind of thing, or 5 minutes only. Yeah. But I think it's time. Let's go into the spoiler territory. Then we have more things to talk about.
But then again, we were going to move on to our spoilery section.
Yeah.
So just in case, follow warning. So,
Spoiler alert.
watch it. So please pause this video and then you can come back when you watch it. And for those of you who already watch it and you're here with us, thank you so much for staying with us. So let's hit on. So let's go.
Okay, villain voting number 2. Okay, who is my favorite villain after watching the movie? I will agree with go back to the earlier portion if you have not heard on AJ's comment. I agree with AJ that definitely is Dr. Ock. He is kind of like he redeemed himself, right? In fact, he redeemed himself during his own movie where he sacrificed himself. You know, he grabbed his self-made, sun solar system with him, right? So he also, and I think that a lot of times, this movie also, my cats, my cats got very excited. So I think that this movie, one thing I learned is that I learned to delve a bit deeper to understand about people without judging them so much. Like sometimes people do bad things.
Your cat even.
Like my cats do bad things. So when people do bad things, it might not be because of they want to do so, but it could be certain circumstances. So in Doc Ock's case, when they fix that neural thing on his back, that actually helps him to slow down, all the voices in his head and so on, and after that he turned over, and in fact he was one who saved the day, right? I mean
it's like, Doc Ock is definitely represents like the anti-hero of the whole entire movie lah. But just that a little bit disappointed in certain pacing. Okay, let's talk about what are the things that we don't like about the movie and what are the things that we like about it later on. So let's start with what are the issues that we have in a bit. So okay, my issue is that they only show the very big exciting part about Doc Ock at the very beginning of the film, which is the bridge scene, right? I can say one thing for sure, the action scene is amazing. It's amazing, and it's also very funny at the same time. So that's where you see, Spider-Man exalt his like fullest potential in saving people, his usual Spider-Man technique style. But obviously, we were expecting so much. The movie has set itself in such a pace that whereby we're expecting like a lot from Doc Ock, right? Then after he disappeared almost like half of the movies, right? Then only to appear later. I'm thinking like, what happened to you? You actually literally were away. I mean, you could have come and actually saved the whole situation if, let's say, give or take. But suddenly, that's to me, that was a slight issue for me. Whereas the rest of them were actually like kind of on board and not wanting to trust Peter Parker's sense. Let's talk about the whole multiverse angles. I mean, basically, when Tom Holland's Peter Parker literally sets up the whole multiverse chaos, right? Obviously the villains of all other universes started popping up. His goal is what Doctor Strange told him: please clear and Scooby-Doo this crap shit and get everybody back to the universe and once and for all. So it was his simple job, but obviously, Peter Parker has other issues that he wants to do. He wants to do more, which he thinks in his mind that is good, but ended up like, it's like, that he started to do things that based on his own will, that to me, the part where his little banter with Doctor Strange, right, kind of set us off. Do you agree with that?
I will agree that I expect a lot more, drawing on your earlier comment, I expect a lot more from Doc Ock. So I thought that he would be like the leader of the Sinister Six, right? Based on the trailers, okay? But it wasn't the case and he disappeared, right? But I think he also had to back off, like, because in this story, there is Doctor Strange, there's quite a lot of good guys, right? There's also, the other 2 Spider-Man that came out, okay? So they have a lot of time for them. We spoiler already, right? They allow them to develop and so on, right? To talk about things. So he has to back up for a bit, I feel. Peter Parker, I feel that this is sometimes a very existential crisis kind of question, or very philosophical kind of movie, right? I admire that even though Marvel is like action and stuff, there are some kind of philosophical or ethics issue that you would think about. So would you, is it wrong to send them off and knowing that they'll be killed, or will you want to try to fix them? Okay, but I think it's like a moral dilemma, right? For example, if you drive the car down the road, okay, if you drive the train and then if you pull the lever, you're gonna kill 5 people. Then if you don't pull the lever, you're gonna kill like 10 people, that kind of stuff. So which one will you choose, right? Then obviously, Spider-Man always have this stupid issue where he just cannot. He wants the best of both worlds, which is why things happen, right? So there has to be blood somehow. So if I think it's in life, like it's karma, right? Like certain things cannot be stopped. There has to be something not so good that happen that will cause you to grow, right? So in this case, if he cannot meet the decision at a point in time to send them back, even though they are totally not related to him, so someone dear to him has to die because you saved the life of 5 people. So karma will tell you that okay, one of your closest one will have to go away, lor. So I feel like if he would have the foresight to know, if he had the power, the time stone to, if he already know, would he have made that choice? That's the question, right? But now because we don't have the time stone, so we don't know.
That is where this Peter Parker set aside from the previous 2 installments of the Spider-Man. Obviously we are dealing with a school kid over here, and obviously his decision, yes, we know that he has good intentions at heart, but then it comes to falls into the wrong places, especially when he start bringing all these people, and you're not talking about ordinary people. These are really villains into your house, a sacred house that that is supposed to be classified. And yet it's like you are inviting trouble. So not knowing that he's actually taking a huge risk, right? That's a huge liability.
Well, when we're young, we're very innocent, we're very trusting, It takes a lot of heartbreaks for us to like go cold and be more smart about which other people we can bring into our own bed,
Yeah, and speaking of, because of the consequences, right, of our so-called good intentions, especially when okay, let's put it this way, when Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin actually really says, no good deed goes unpunished. Wow, that part really hits me so hard, because don't you think it just kind of reminds us, like, sometimes our good intention will always come across as, we're trying to be sincere and genuine, but it always seems to be perceived as like, differently from different
perspectives. Trying to reference back to the conversation that we had previously during dinner.
Yes. And so exactly.
I do agree with you, because like when we're young, right, we watch those like Chinese drama, right? It's always that 好人先死 one, like the good people die first. Like if you're good, you are never really like rewarded. You die first, So it is quite sad. I feel it is quite sad, but I feel that what the good guys gain at the end, right, even though they lose things, right, is that they had the growth. Okay, they had the growth at the end of the day. And I feel like what was really nice was that the mistake that was made by the previous 2 Spider-Man, they took that chance to pass it onto him, Tom Holland Spider-Man, so that he doesn't have to go through the same thing as they are, in order to learn what he needs to learn.
Speaking of the 2 Spider-Mans that comes into his universe, right? Literally, what happened was that he has to go through a very big sacrifice, or a very big goneness, to know that Aunt May was part of the picture, and to watch her die without her knowing it, as she was just getting tired. That was a really heartbreaking moment, and then he was at such a low pinnacle moment, and it's very heartfelt to see MJ kind of like feeling, wow, I think I sense I need to press the panic button. I need to do something about it. So that is where she and Ned decided to do something, and they were
I also kind of like the fact that, in the 3 different Spider-Man universe, 3 different people that were very close to him died. The first one was Uncle Ben, and then the next one was the girlfriend, and then now is Aunt May, right? So it's also kind of like perspective on loss of different people, how they affect us as well, right? So that is also, I think, quite interesting how it's being played, It could have been MJ that was being sacrificed, but why they choose Aunt May? Maybe just to like show you that, your family, a fatherly figure, motherly figure, or your partner, they might all possibly die.
I don't think the movie wants to kill off another girlfriend, since already you have the Amazing Spider-Man killing off Gwen Stacy. So maybe a girlfriend again in this series, right? That would be like.
Hey, let's vote. Tell me who's your favorite Spider-Man. This is something that I am very interested to know.
Okay, to be honest with you, was actually jumping in between Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. So, but I would say that I still like Tobey Maguire mainly because he's the original Spider-Man, and he's the kind of person he's very goofy, but you just find something endearing about him. And then on top of that, I like him because he has actually cool web powers. He doesn't need to rely on the web shooters and stuff like that. It simply just come out from his wrist, which by the other two spiders cannot figure out. Wow, you actually have your own like fluids just coming out of your own body.
It's like Bukake, you know. It's like yeah.
So it said Spider-Man kind of make it very easy. Like instead of just like like relying on gadgets, right? You just literally have webs just coming up from your body, just like the web shooters. So they made a lot of puns and jokes, which I won't say much. You really have to go and watch the movie and see for yourself and have a very good laugh.
Yeah, I love all the humors for sure. They did clap back at a lot of things, right? Also reminding Andrew Garfield how amazing he is. So I love all this things that we will laugh about on internet. They actually bring all these memes into the movie itself. I think that was really fun. For me, it'll definitely be Andrew Garfield. I always have a crush on him, big time crush. I just like that he is always like the not so goofy, but a bit more geeky, a bit unsure, lacking a bit on confidence, but yeah, still very cool. Yeah, he's like a love bug lah. He's like, oh, I love you guys.
Actually, Andrew Garfield kind of gives me when I watched Amazing Spider-Man, right? He actually gave me a little bit like he was a bit cocky, but because of his cockiness, that also caused him, But of course, he also has his own story arc lah, which I kind of like as well. So it's for me, it's like watching him. It just couldn't bring my head out of the fact that, it was fresh from Tick Tick Boom. Okay, in case of some of you do not know, he's actually now starring in Netflix Tick Tick Boom. You should go and watch it. Amazing, amazing musical film talking about the true life story. It's very heartwarming. And obviously, the real life character actually died in real life. So I really encourage everyone to watch it. And then so somehow, whenever I watch Andrew Garfield, right, I just see that he wanted to break out into a song. So because it's like, I just couldn't get my mind off of like the musical Peter Parker. So, and then Tobey Maguire, somehow expecting a lot from him, but he somehow seems so subdued. So I do not know whether it's
pastor. He's a youth pastor now.
Actually, that was a good one, man. It's like, because like, where's your costume, man? You dress like a youth pastor. And it's like,
it does reminds me of my youth pastor as well. Yeah.
We all have our youth pastors, don't we? Yeah.
So speaking of the Spideyverse, who else do you think will come? Maybe we will expect in the future, like any hints in the movie you catch up.
Okay, but speaking of multiverse, okay, again, basically we all know that what Tom Holland Spider-Man did, right? Obviously he kind of like he messed up the whole entire spell, which caused the whole multiverse to go chaotic and stuff like that. And Doctor Strange somehow tried to put it together but couldn't because the power was so overwhelming, and also based on the sabotage of the villains, it almost caused the whole entire multiverse to crack. So therefore, when the multiverse actually start to crack, we actually get our first glimpse of the Statue of Liberty with the Captain's shield, so which also we will witness in Hawkeye. So it's amazing. Then we saw figures and those like silhouette. I'm just trying to figure out like who are the villains that actually literally pop up from nowhere, but they just never really shown exactly. So
Black Spider-Man.
Yeah. Speaking of which, also because at the end of the day, right, Electro was also telling Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker, saying that, like you've been like so kind and helping out the people in Queens. I would have assumed that this Spider-Man would be a Black Spider-Man, but it turns out that it's actually you, Peter Parker. So when he mentioned the word Black Spider-Man, and you can imagine the audience was like, ooh, it's really because as literally as the people are sitting next to me, right, two seats next to me, like, oh my god, are they bringing Miles Morales?
I was like, no, today you was me. I did not do that. I did not me.
No, the people that were two seats next to me. So they were like, Miles Morales. So then I quickly got the glimpse and say, oh yeah, Black Spider-Man, Miles Morales. So is he going to appear in the future installments of Spider-Verse? We do not know, so we just have to wait what Sony and Marvel has to bring. So
Yeah, so speaking of which, how about things moving forward? Because I did read, I was watching Heavy Spoiler, which is another YouTube channel. I was also watching New Rockstar, you know. So they were also saying, I remember it was Heavy Spoiler. They mentioned that it's very smart of them from a very commercial perspective to kind of reset the whole thing, you know, so that it's easy, the clean cut. So whatever, because Spider-Man is a Sony character, whatever if they want to do with the Spider-Man Spideyverse, moving forward, they can do their own things from then on, you know. But they also, but still, it allows the umbilical cord that if any time that he still want to join back again, he can do so also. But it's a really a clean slate because now everyone doesn't know him. None of the Avengers know him. No one knows about him. So I think that was really smart, you know, to weave that into the entire storyline. Though it was a bit sad at the end to like kind of like see your best friend forgetting you, right? You know, it reminds me that you know, last time I have like good friends, you know, like high school friends or whatever, and then we just no longer in touch and no longer become friends and so on, right? But that is because life happens. But this is like because of your own decision that happened. Yeah.
but I think also because of this, right, that's one thing I also have to encourage you lah. When I always realize that sometimes you may not be in contact with your friends for many years, but when you realize it is meant to be, it's meant to be. Just like I had not had this connection with this uh, girlfriend of mine for 20 plus years, and she's so-called like my church friend, you know, and turns out that years later, we just happens to for some reason, we just reconnected on WhatsApp, on Facebook chat. And when we actually met up, we got so much to catch up on, as if that we never left. So cling on to that hope. And knowing that what happens to Peter, right? You know, obviously things had to happen in such a way that he has to make the whole entire world forget who Peter Parker really is. So even though he had to start from the very scratch that, you know, even have to affect his friends like Ned and MJ to not even remember who he is, but knowing that there's an inkling of hope that he has, that he will try his very best to reconnect back and to able to make them remember their memories. So imagine you have the seed plant inside you. No matter how much you forget, there's always something that will. So I'm actually clinging on to that hope, lah, for sure. Yeah.
Clinging on to hope, who's very good at clinging on to hope, and that will be Wanda. So let's talk about the end credit scene. You know, I think we were treated to early release of a full trailer of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So what do you think will happen? I think that's the next upcoming MCU movie, right?
Correct, yes. But not before that, we'll talk about the so-called the mid-credit scene. The mid-credit scene, like we get to actually see a cameo version of Tom Hardy. It's no surprise because basically Spider-Man also appeared in the post-credit in Venom Let There Be Carnage post-credit scene. So whether do we expect to see Venom on the next installment of Spider-Man, we do not know. So because anyway, there's also part of the movie earlier on that mentions about Toby was saying that, oh, I've dealt with Black Alien before in the past. So in my mind, thinking, oh shoot, they're actually recalling Venom. So that really got me very hyped and excited. So speaking of the post-credit scene, right, which is like, you know, we get to see, we are treated to a mini trailer of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So which is something that, you know, a lot of audience weren't expecting. And this is really a really, really good post-credit scene. Something that I've never experienced before. And it's so much better than other post-credit scenes. So do you think you agree that it's really a very good post-credit scene?
Yes, it is. And did you also read out some review? Actually, there was another character that was shown in the trailer.
Please refresh my memory because there's so many things that's going on in my mind.
So I think it's a character that I'm not very familiar with, to be honest. Is I think Miss America or something.
Yeah, Miss America is okay.
So she's supposed to be like her power is like she's supposed to be able to like travel between the different multiverse.
Right.
So she was wearing a jacket because I was watching some of the spoiler review, you know, and so on, right? So someone was wearing like a denim jacket with a star. So that's her, yeah.
Yeah, because I did see like clips and pictures of spoilery pictures of her on set. So yeah, I kind of forgot about Miss America. Whenever I thought about Miss America, I thought about beauty pageants.
Yeah. Me too. Same. Yes, I confirm it's Miss America. Yeah, the name is Miss America.
What a name! Before you know it, there's another one called Miss USA.
Never know, it's a US franchise. We are the rest of the world. We are just like domestic market, and the rest of the world. We're just the rest of the world.
Yeah. It's so cool. But then it's like it was so exciting. So when the moment when Elizabeth Olsen turned her head, it's like again I hear the audience scream like Wanda. It's like, and it's just so heartwarming to see that so many people are so felt so invested in.
Yeah, actually, I really love the crowd. I think it's been a while. It feels like the end game crowd where there's just a lot of fans in the audience. It's not like I went to watch like other, I cannot say the movie names lah, but the solo female superhero one, or the one with the male superhero one. The feeling a bit different, but this one is like everyone was so supportive. People were clapping along the way, like celebrating. It's like a celebration. I love it.
I cannot emphasize the fact that I think the experience makes it even so much more authentic, especially when we are in a.
Yeah, which reminds me why we should go back to the movies, right?
I don't understand the concept that because we're in the pandemic, the lockdown. Let's all start watching streaming at home. Dude, screw that! Seriously, screw that! I mean, there's really nothing like having the real authentic experience in a theater whereby you watch it with groups of other strangers who are also Marvel enthusiasts. I mean, it's really, I cannot explain. I mean, really, you guys, if you really...
And then after the movie, I hear people having discussions and so on. It just like, wow, I feel like, it's like a mini Comic-Con,
And then you hear people like after the movie credit until the last of the when the post credit runs is rolled and the lights turns on, people were clapping, and it's like wow, I'm like I would never expect that from a Singaporean movie audience. Usually,
I agree. I was pleasantly surprised. I believe Endgame we had that, but it's been so long ago. Like it's like blip, I forgot what happened before pandemic already, So this kind of bring back the memories again.
Endgame was 2 years ago, literally, and it's like, oh wow. I think it's really nice experience there, and hopefully, when I get to rewatch it again the second time, we hope to get. I hope that we get the same response from the audience in general, not just only from the people that I watched with. So I cannot forget the whole experience, and it's none other than an honor experience to watch it with you. Obviously, you're a Marvel enthusiast and a Marvel enthusiast, so thank you for your time and your commitment, and it's such a pleasure watching this with you. Seriously, we should do this.
Pleasure's all mine. I think you also want to make some announcement, right? I heard you say there's something you want to share with people.
Okay, just to let everyone know that as we're approaching the year end of 2021, no, that's not a big deal, but it's just to let everyone know that this will be the absolute final episode of Scandal Panel. So,
the end game of Scandal Panel.
I know, heartbreak, but all good things must come to an end, and but we have our own personal reason, because some of us, we have our own commitments with professional reasons. So due to conflicting schedules, right? So it's unable, especially you guys out there will know, starting a YouTube channel has never been easy. Sometimes it's especially involving one or two more person, right? It's always really, really, really hard. But sincerely, I would like to thank every single one of you who has been out there, subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for really being there for us. Again, I can assure you that this is not the last that you've seen of us. And of course, if you want to really look out for us, you can always find us on our Instagram's details on the links down below. So in that case, right, can you please tell our honored viewers where can they find you, Malcolm?
So I am on Instagram at Malcolm Sunny. I also have a cats channel which you guys can follow if you really like cats. That's bg.cats. I'm also planning to start a YouTube channel talking about cat owners and the stories behind it. So inspired by Scandal Panel as well. So that's probably a passion project that I will delve into next year.
Thank you. I mean, obviously, anytime if you really want to have me as your guest, feel free to call me anytime. I'll definitely be happy. Even though I'm not really a cat lover, but I do appreciate cats. I'm more of a dog person, but I love cats nonetheless. So
I love all animals. It's just that I have cats.
Imagine that people who just doesn't like animals really says a lot about them, don't they? Yeah. So anyway, thank you so much for your time, Malcolm. It's such a pleasure doing this show and final episode with you. So we'll see you guys next time. So meanwhile, take care and have a Merry Christmas and a very, very blessed 2022. Bye.